Okay, so that is the 2-minute explanation of the theory of comparative advantage. Actually, another theory should also be mentioned, and that is the theory of absolute advantage. No, so two theories are important. No, one is absolute advantage, one is comparative advantage. Now, it might be confusing because they sound the same, or it seems that they are similar. Absolute advantage states that a country will benefit from trade if it can produce something more cheaper than another country. So they produce a particular product more efficiently, okay, than another country. If they can produce it cheaper, that's absolute advantage. Now, comparative advantage is also the same. Okay, comparative advantage gives uh, a, a country reaps the benefit of trade if it can produce something at less cost. However, in comparative advantage, the cost we are talking about here is in terms of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost siya. Okay? Now, what is the idea of opportunity cost? I'm sure you have already discussed this before, no, in subjects like accounting, no, and economics. Okay, opportunity cost is you are giving up something because you have decided uh, to implement a particular decision. Okay, you have decided upon something, and then you actually give up the opportunity to do something else. Okay, that's opportunity cost. Okay. Now, what is the importance of comparative advantage? No? So, in the module, no, there are three major theories discussed: mercantilism, specialization, and factor endowments. Comparative advantage class will result to specialization. Okay, that's very important. Because of comparative advantage, a country will realize that he might as well produce something that is more cheaper in terms of opportunity cost. So he will be focusing on producing that particular product. He will specialize in producing that product, the product that gives him less opportunity cost. Okay. Now, specialization or comparative advantage, no, also exposes the limitations of mercantilism. Okay, I will explain that further later. And the theories of factor endowments actually sprung out of comparative advantage or specialization. Okay, so uh, specialization, comparative advantage is actually, if you think about it, is the center or the focal points of all major theories in international trade. Okay, so there are three things that I want you to understand in comparative advantage. Number one, goods turn out to be cheaper. Di ba? There is no mention of that in absolute advantage. Goods turn out to be cheaper in terms of opportunity cost. Okay? Absolute advantage actually neglects that. So why is it cheaper? You take my example on the Philippines and Japan. In terms of scooter, in the Philippines, the scooter is expensive, right? Why is it expensive? It's expensive because if the Philippines decides to make scooters, they have to give up the opportunity to make plenty of bananas. Oh, you see? Now, in Japan, on the other hand, scooters are cheaper. Okay? Because if Japan makes a scooter, they give up the opportunity to make less units or quantities of bananas. Okay? Lesser ang opportunity cost, in other words, to make a scooter in Japan, and there is more opportunity cost in the Philippines to make a scooter there, no, in the Philippines. It's more expensive. Para bang pag gumawa tayo ng scooter, manghihinayang tayo sa mawawala sa atin kung tayo ay gagawa ng agricultural products or bananas. Bananas kasi that's our strength eh. Okay? So in Japan naman, on the other hand, they make scooter, they will feel indifferent to the loss in bananas. Okay? Because okay lang kasi konti lang naman ang mawawala sa akin, no? If I decide to make scooters, in terms of bananas, konti lang naman ang mawawala in terms of opportunity cost. So scooters na lang ang gagawin namin. Now, it becomes cheaper, the products become cheaper when they start trading. Okay? Nakita mo, no? When the Philippines trades with Japan, they get a scooter from the Japan, di ba? They only trade 3 units of bananas. Magkano ang scooters dito sa Philippines? In opportunity cost, 4 bananas eh. So, ang ipinalit mo lang sa one scooter, 3 bananas lang, 3 units of bananas lang, di ba? In Japan also benefits because they get a better bargain because it comes out also that the bananas that they're getting is cheaper. Okay? Because they get 3 bananas instead of if they produce bananas, they just get 2 units. Diba? So what's happening is both countries benefit in trade because of comparative advantage. Okay? So that's very important also that both countries, rich or poor, can actually benefit because of comparative advantage. See? First, goods become cheaper in terms of opportunity cost. Okay? Second, rich and poor countries can benefit in trade because of the theory of comparative advantage. You see? Third, specialization. Okay? The countries can now decide on what products they should focus on. Okay? So yes, we always hear that they will focus on their strength, they will focus on the products wherein they are efficient, where they are more productive, no? Where they can produce more efficiently, no? But this is very important because here, the theory of comparative advantage stating that the countries will specialize on the products that they can produce with less opportunity cost. Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, we have now a basis for choosing what to specialize on. Okay, so the tendency is for countries to specialize on that particular products wherein they are very efficient in producing it because they can produce it in less opportunity cost. Okay? So clear? Specialization and the theory of comparative advantage exposes the weaknesses of mercantilism because mercantilism, the idea of Adam Smith is yes, trade is very important and we should trade based on absolute advantage, no? But it it generally tells us that we should export more, sell more, and import less. That's the idea. So an economy becomes progressive, more developed if we export more, we sell more, and then we import less. The problem with this is that it results to retaliatory behavior between countries. So when we say retaliatory, the other countries will also do the same. And if that happens, it will hamper the economy, it will hamper trade. Okay? Kasi lahat ng tao gusto mag-export eh. Walang gusto mag-import. It will also affect your country because it will be like nobody wants to buy your product. They only want to sell to you. Oh, see, that's the problem with mercantilism, no? That's the problem with without taking into consideration the comparative advantage theory. Now, the theories of factor endowments, the ones mentioned by, for example, the one by Porter, Michael Porter's diamond theory, this one, right? Speaks of national competitive advantage. Oh, that's strength. See? That also was derived from comparative advantage, focusing on your strength, di ba? Based on opportunity cost. See? So, also this one, the trade theory, the HO theory, no, by Heckscher and Olim. Okay? So, it attributes comparative advantage of a nation to its factor endowments. These are economic factors. So, again, the mention is, it mentions comparative advantage. So this is evidence that the theory of comparative advantage and specialization is a very important theory in international trade. No? Again, comparative advantage tells us that goods become cheaper based on opportunity cost. So it benefits the rich country and the poor country when we start trading, and also it results to specialization. Okay? Meron po bang talong?
None po.
Okay.